What's up guys, drummerjaker here, and today I have gameplay of Murder at Assault Airsoft. If you don't know what Murder is a game mode where you have innocents, a murderer, and a sheriff. Innocents don't have any weapons whatsoever, the murderer gets one knife, and the sheriff gets one spring pistol. If you are the sheriff and you get killed, then you have to drop the spring pistol if you have it out. Once the pistol has been dropped, any innocent can go up and grab it and use it against the murderer. Now, in this game mode, we were allowed to pat anybody that we wanted down for the knife, basically. And luckily for me, it was the first game and I was chosen to be the murderer. So right here, you're about to see all of us lined up on the wall because we had to close our eyes and put our heads down. And that's my friend Caleb there, and him and I decided to make a pack. He probably shouldn't have done that because he's about to get wrecked by #me. He wants to pat me down. I say, yeah, let's do that, but I decide to give the ref my fake knife that I had beforehand, and I go and stab him right here. Now he's dead, and which is perfect because he's all by himself in that little corner. I decide to come up through here, through the hallway, and decide to go to the ramps to see if I can find my next victim. And at this moment, you'll see my friend Kirk look at the knife. Right now, the knife is on me. He sees me. And I'm like, well, Kirk is just going to have to die. So I go after him. He tries to block me, but I end up getting him. I see that there's two people down in the deep end, so I decide to crawl over the ref walk, run down, and get them. Kill, kill. I see one person, I try to jump this, almost die, and I end up, my GoPro is all whopper jawed and such, but I end up getting him. At this point, there are two people left. So I decide to make my way back around to where I killed Caleb to see if I could get a better view of the field, because that's the corner of the field. I decided to take my time because there's only two left and it's a big field, so I mean, there's chances of them being really close to me at that moment were slim to none. So right now, I know it's hard to tell because my GoPro got all messed up from when I about died, but I'll be fixing it here in a moment. But I was looking for anybody else throughout the field, and at this moment I fixed my GoPro and I see my friend Aaron right there that I just killed. He comes up behind me. I saw his shadow. That's one thing about this field at Assault Airsoft, is that if you use your shadow, other people's shadows, like on the walls or any of the barriers, then you'll probably have a good game, because that's all you ever see is people's shadows. At this moment, there's one more person left, and he's right there in the deep end. So I pretend like I was dead and decide to walk back out. And I think I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna go around and try to sneak down into the deep end without him noticing. At this moment, I turn here and I see the last person left, and he has the gun. And I see him walking the opposite direction of me with a ref. So I decide to sneak up behind him real quick as soon as the coast is clear and I don't see him anymore. I try to catch up with them, and honestly at this point I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to stab him, and that's going to be it. Now, I know it's really hard to see right now because it's so dark in this area of the field, but pretty soon here you'll see his shadow on the left of the wall, and you'll see his shadow including the gun. And I hide on the other side of this barrier, and he turns the corner and I stab him. Stab for the win. Now this is round 2, and I am not the murderer and I'm not the sheriff, I'm just an innocent. So I decide, why not, let's just make a pact with Caleb again, and this this time I know that I'm not the murderer. I don't think he's the murderer just because if he was, he would have stabbed me by now. But we come up here to this secluded part of the field in the corner so we can pat each other down just to make sure. And again, he lets me pat him down, so that's how I know he's not the murderer. And as I finish up, he's going to pat me down. He finds nothing because I don't have it. And the ref comes out, tries to scare us. You think you're funny. And right there's the actual murderer. Goes to stab me. I try to run away. I'm clumsy. I hit a wall. And that's pretty much it for me in second round. Now here in the third round, I am neither a murderer or the sheriff. I'm an innocent again. And my game plan right now is just to try to find as many people as I can, check them for the knife, and just make a big squad of people that can trust each other. I find one person, and I ask him if I can check him for the knife. And he decides to be really sketchy, backs up, such like that, puts his hands in his pants, and says no. And I know that I need to gain his trust, but I also can't really trust him. I know that if he's the murderer, that I'll probably scream and let everybody know that I am down there with him. But he asked me to turn around a few times, so I did. And I asked him if I can check him for the knife. He puts his hands out, and I check him for the knife. And so far, so good. And he's clean. No knife. So him and I can trust each other. So we decide to go pick up more people. Now right here we see one person up top there with a ref, and I'm kind of nervous right now because I've started my group here and I don't want to lose now. So him and I decide to run out of the deep end because we're kind of trapped, and as we're running up, he notices he pulls something out. Well, I turn around and here it's the gun. So we know we can trust him. He's not the murderer. So I ask him if he wants to check me for the knife. He says sure. He checks me. I'm clean. And he asks about that guy right there that I just checked, and I told him that. So now the game plan is we make our way all the way around the field and pick up anybody that we find on the way. We're just going to go around the perimeter first. Now we make it to the top of the ramps on the other side here, and I see Aaron, and I ask him if I can check him for the knife, and he says sure. So I check him, and he comes up to be clean of the knife, and we ask him if he wants to run with us, and he says sure. So our group is starting to get pretty big because there was, I'm pretty sure, 7 or 8 people, and 2 of them are dead right now. So and then there's 4 of us, so that can only leave 1 or 2 more. And I realized at this moment, I'm like, wait a second, where's Caleb? So right now I'm very suspicious of him, and I'm watching our backs and such because he is very sneaky. I've played this game with him before, and he's really good at it. So we decide to go through the kill house and try to find him, and we also go through the village. So I decided to walk down the steps. Right now we're in the village, and I want to go. I honestly don't want to go through the house just because it's so dark in there. That's too sketchy. I don't want him just kill me around a corner. And at this point, I see him walk across, and I ask him to stay, and he's like, nah, I'm just gonna keep going. But I said, no, we need to check you, and I let everybody else know that he's up here, and he starts to run away. I accuse him loudly of being the murderer, and I walk through here, which was a bad choice. Now at this moment, he is to my right, and he goes to stab me. I don't feel anything. I talked with him afterwards, and he said that he could have sworn he stabbed me, but I didn't feel anything at all. I didn't see anything. I even looked at him try to stab me, and I decided to hide over here and wait for everybody else to come to the kill house to back me up. And pretty soon here, the next time I peek around the corner, you'll see our sheriff walking out. He went through the kill house, ended up getting stabbed. Now the gun is over there in front of Caleb, and he's basically guarding it. And right now I'm just trying to think, what can we do to get the gun? I peek around the corner, and he is right there. He looks at me all confused because he thinks that he killed me. But I explained to him I didn't feel it, I didn't see it. I told him we'll check the footage later, and you'll see Aaron behind him grab the gun. He turns around, notices he's got the gun pointed at him, and surrenders. That's going to wrap up our last game of murder for today. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you guys have any other video ideas, comment below and subscribe. This is Drummer Jake signing off.
Run, guys, run! It's him! It's him! It's him, but I gotta